A Minnesota teen was sexually harassed and assaulted in a Buffalo Wild Wings restroom by a server who happened to be an absolutely massive transphobe. Now, that's not what the headlines are saying, but that is the actual situation. The headlines read like this: Minnesota teen says server forced her to prove her gender in restaurant bathroom. And that sounds bad. Doesn't really tell the story though, as we're going to explain. But the result is that this teen is now suing Buffalo Wild Wings for discrimination. And I think they have a hell of a case in this. This is Garika Mudra, who was eating at Buffalo Wild Wings with her friend. So she then goes to the restroom and a server follows her inside and begins banging on the stall door while saying, "This is a women's restroom. The man needs to get out of here." Not you. The man needs to get out of here. When she came out of the stall and told the server, "I'm a lady," she said the server responded, "You have to get out now." Well, Mudra said she felt she had to prove to the server that she's a woman, so she unzipped her hoodie to show that she has breasts. The server didn't say anything in response, didn't apologize, just left the restroom. And Mudra said, "She made me feel very uncomfortable. After that, I just don't like going in public bathrooms. I just hold it in. I want to be able to use the bathroom in peace." And they did not get that piece. Of course, if it's not already obvious, this person is not trans. But that doesn't matter to the transphobes. This entire endeavor is fundamentally irrational, okay? And so yet again, I mean, sure, plenty of trans people are harassed and assaulted in bathrooms, 100 times more than they've ever assaulted any cis people. But yet another cis woman is being harassed and sexually assaulted, forced to show their body so that they can just leave a bathroom in peace, I guess, because of how insane and self-destructive transphobia is. In response to this story now being reported, including by NBC News and the lawsuit, Buffalo Wild Wings, the parent company, Inspire Brands, didn't even respond to a request from comment. They don't even feel like they need to say anything about this. And Gender Justice, which is involved in the lawsuit, says that nearly 1 out of 3 LGBTQ+ people report experiencing harassment for using a bathroom. Nearly 60% of trans people have avoided using public restrooms out of fear of harassment and violence. Now, if you are one of these transphobes, it could be, okay, that you've been engaged in this multi-year crusade against trans people because you're so concerned about women being free in bathrooms. So a situation like this might be a good opportunity to stop, do a little bit of self-reflection, think about your choices, and then move in a different direction. But that is not how this is going. Why bother with all of that? J.K. Rowling has other stuff to tweet about. See, she's been busy urging a boycott of a store in the UK for having trans employees. I checked to make sure this morning. Nothing about this story on J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling only cares about women being free to be in the bathroom without harassment, but not this woman. Not this woman, because that would make the entire thing kind of look bad if you acknowledge the pain that this woman had experienced. And just to show you how ridiculous it is that she ignores that story, but focuses on this store needing to be boycotted. In case you don't know the story, I just want to quickly let you know what happened, how egregious it must have been that this, one of the richest women in the world, is urging a boycott. Okay, so the store ended up apologizing to a woman whose teenage daughter was reportedly distressed after a transgender woman working in the store's lingerie section offered her assistance. Came up and did what you do when you are a worker at a store, said, "Can I help you?" That so freaked out the mom and the daughter that they fled the store. The store, by the way, apologized. Again, Buffalo Wild Wings has not apologized for this sexual assault. They apologized. There was no assault, there was no harassment. All there was the mere existence of a trans person living their life, doing their job. They didn't say anything wrong, they didn't do anything wrong, but they existed, and that was unacceptable to this mom and her daughter. They said they were truly sorry. They took the mother's concerns very seriously, despite the fact that no one should, because they're insane. The retailer said it assured the mother that a female colleague would assist her daughter in the future, claiming in this case, I guess, that the trans woman was not a female, I suppose. They acknowledged that the employee is not female, but she was still unsatisfied after all of this. They're apologizing publicly when they shouldn't. They're saying it's serious when it is not. That was not enough. It was not enough for the mom. It wasn't enough for J.K. Rowling. She was urging a boycott after all of this. Why? Not because the trans person did anything wrong. They didn't. Just because they gave a job to a trans person. That is the violation. So J.K. Rowling, who is worth billions of dollars, takes time out of her day, multiple days, to lead a campaign against a trans person having a job, can't say one goddamn word about transphobes again harassing a cis woman and sexually assaulting her. Not interested, just doesn't merit a comment from J.K. Rowling, who would assure you, I'll remind you, that the reason she's been doing all of this isn't because she's transphobic, it's because she cares about women and their safety that much. Well, J.K. Rowling, here's a great opportunity to put your money where your mouth is and actually comment about that woman who is actually assaulted by a goddamn transphobe, a person who unfortunately has way more in common with you than you'd like to admit. What do you think, Sharon?
I think this is on brand for her. And I'm not talking about people, millions, who enjoyed the Harry Potter books and then discovered that she was this gross, cruel person afterwards when she began just announcing herself in places that nobody asked her to. Look, if you analyze the books, believe it or not, and I'm not one of these people, I'm just telling you, there's a lot of sexual harassment. There's love potions in there. There's targeting, bullying, harassment of many of the characters in there. That's just what it is. So for someone who cares so much about women, I mean, come on, that's a lie. And I'll tell you something, this society and this administration and this culture war situation against transgender, culture war is actually too gentle a term. We got to come up with something different, okay? Because you're affecting people's lives. And now you've given individuals, you granted them permission to self-deputize and begin targeting people who are just breathing. We have confirmed that this employee was just breathing, right? There's nothing else there. What exactly did you want their help with or not want their help with? It's just stupid. But this is who she is. It's cruel. Who hurt you? I ask. I'm gonna get a t-shirt. Who hurt you? Because there's so many people walking around just hurting people for no reason. What's it? What are you doing? Spend your money and leave us alone.
Yeah, in some cases it's appropriate, but like calling this a culture war is not even. What's the war? It's like calling like the genocide in Gaza a war. It's not a war. Constant one-sided assaults are not a war. Trans people are not doing anything to hurt you. Trans people literally just want to be able to work at a stupid department store in the UK. But you come in there and just like freak out when you see a trans person. You run to J.K. Rowling to lead a boycott after the store gives in and affirms your transphobia. It's not enough because it's never enough until the last trans person ceases to exist. That's not a war. This is not anything like war. This is not even asymmetric. There's no assault. There's a desire to be able to go on existing, and then there are people who are never going to stop attacking. That's all it is. This is not a culture war at all. J.K. Rowling, could you just try to acknowledge this story for one goddamn second? Could Fox News, could Matt Walsh, oh God, Matt Walsh cares about women. Oh, he's so cares about so much that he's just got to talk about trans people all day long. He cares about women's sports so much, he's got to protect them. Is he gonna do a segment on this? No, of course not. Doesn't care literally at all.